You're listening to the Intercoastal Podcast, part of the Destination Marketing Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Intercoastal Podcast, where we explore the people, places, and stories that make Beaufort, Port Royal, and the Sea Islands so unforgettable. I'm your host, Daquan Mickens, and today's episode is all about connection and how Beaufort's past continues to shape its future. Our guest today is Cherimie Weatherford, Executive Director of Freedman Arts District. We'll start by talking about Beaufort's history and how those stories lay the groundwork for the arts movement you see today. Then we'll dive into what's happening now for the Freedman Arts District and Arts Festival and how people can experience it firsthand. So let's jump in. Welcome to the show, Cherimie.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Glad to kind of talk about, the Freedman Arts District and the history of it, and then what's coming as we move forward. So kind of to start, Beaufort has such a rich and layered history when you think about the town and what parts of the story stands out most for you.
What stands out to me most about Beaufort is it's one of the very first places in the United States where formerly enslaved people were able to own land and homes. And those homes still stand today. And it's not that they're just historic structures, but they're actually living examples of resilience, dignity, and self-determination. Mm-hmm. It was a community that was built on the belief that freedom meant ownership, education, craftsmanship, and legacy. That history is incredibly personal to me because it reminds us that progress was created here, brick by brick, by people who believed deeply in what was possible for the future.
Yeah, and like you said, it's one of the first places in America that kind of had that belief in that system. And every day you walk these streets, and like you said, brick by brick, you can kind of feel it. That was one of the first things when I moved here I noticed was, wow, there's a lot of history, and so many history makers walk the same footsteps that I'm walking currently. And that goes with me every day that I come in here. But speaking on the history, how do you think Beaufort's past still shows up in an everyday life here in the culture, the pace, or the people?
It's exactly what you just said. I think that we in Beaufort, we're very lucky that we do walk the exact same footsteps as so many before us that had such a huge impact on our country. Mm-hmm. And I think that Beaufort's past shows up in a way where people live here. It's a slower pace, but it's intentional. It's not passive. It's thoughtful. You see it in the way that people take pride in our communities, our neighborhoods, and it's also, you see that people really believe in the preservation of the history that is Beaufort. And we can see that in the Freedman cottages, in the Gullah Geechee traditions, and in the way that stories are shared over and over throughout the years.
Yeah. And that's another thing is a lot of places that not just the art, but the history gets lost as time moves on. And that's why you love Beaufort, because it kind of holds that precious. It keeps it, and people can come here and learn. And that's one of our main things to give back to people when they do visit is, hey, you're getting a history, you're getting a lesson when you visit.
Yeah, it really is an experience. It's more than just seeing something frozen in time. Yeah. It's, walking through history rather than just watching a movie or reading about it. You actually get to walk through it.
Yeah, I agree. Can you talk about how the Freedman Arts District came to be and why this particular history needed a creative platform?
Of course. So the Freedman Arts District came from a very personal conviction that history it's deserved to be experienced, not just remembered. The Freedman neighborhood represents one of the most hopeful chapters in American history, and it's often overlooked. And art felt like the most honest way to remember that, because art invites emotion and reflection and even participation. Through creativity, people don't just learn about the past, they feel it and they get to connect to it and they see themselves within it.
Yeah, I agree. It's easy to read or see a history book and you see something so it feels disconnected.
Right.
But when you feel passionate about art or it kind of shows or invoke emotion, you, like you said, it's a different way to see and learn something.
Absolutely. It's more engaging.
Yes.
I think it allows us a way to make it more than just a memory, but it pulls the person in. It invites that engagement and invites that opportunity to envision yourself in that same time period, in that same mindset that must have been for the people to overcome and do all of the many things they were able to do.
Yeah, I agree. What's the original mission of the district when it first began, and how has it evolved now?
At the heart of the original mission, which remains today, is preservation, and that is preserving the cultural legacy of the Freedman community, protecting the stories that are tied to the Freedman cottages and to the people who built them and to the families that have lived in them over the years. Over time, that mission has expanded and grown into something much larger. And today it's not only just preservation, but it's also paired with opportunity and supporting artists and creating access to arts education and fostering economic vitality and ensuring that history remains a living, evolving part of our community and everyday life rather than just frozen in time.
Yeah, that's perfect, because this is such a artistic town.
Yeah.
A lot of people, there's so many good artists, and whether it's music or actual art, there's so much here.
Yeah, we're so lucky.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't walk down any street and you're going to have a reminder that not only do we have this just incredible, rich historical and cultural heritage, but we also have this undercurrent of arts that have been here. And they're tied to the history, because if you think back, even when we look at the Freedman cottages, a lot of times how the residents sustained themselves in those times was through arts, quilt making, bateau making, indigo, all of those things were used as a way to support and provide for their family.
Yeah, and that's a great transition into the next question. How is art such an effective way to preserve the history while also inviting new voices into the conversation?
Of course. So art allows history, again, to be felt, not just learned. And I think that it really lowers the barriers. It invites curiosity, and it gives people permission to engage sometimes with difficult or complex stories in a more human way. And at the same time, art welcomes new voices and perspectives, allowing history to evolve and remain relevant. And I think that balance is essential if we want the future and generations to feel connected to the past rather than, like you have said, just distant from it.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into why we love Beaufort. It has that history that not only you can see, but you can feel.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you said, it's not in books or museums where you can just walk in, see it on the wall, and then walk out. It's part of the culture. It's part of the town and everyday life that we have today. You feel it in the street. So kind of let's talk about what it looks like now for the art district and the transition into the stories of present day. So Cherimie, for someone who's never been to Beaufort or know what the Freedman Arts District is, can you explain what the arts festival is to them?
Of course. And so this will be our third year. And the Freedman Arts District Art Festival is a 3-day celebration of culture, creativity, community, and of course, art. And it's a gathering that is not only rooted in history. I mean, we have so many visitors who come, particularly for this festival. And one of the cornerstones of the festival is the Chalk It Up Beaufort. And Chalk It Up is a national program where all over the country, artists will take to the streets, sidewalks, and pavements, and they create this public art right before your eyes. And led by, we're very fortunate with the Freedman Arts District, led by Linda Sphelan. She's an artist within our district, and she's really taken the reins of Chalk It Up Beaufort. And what started as a very small festival has now grown tremendously. And what happens is we have artists from all over the country who come, and not only do the visitors who attend the festival, they get to watch this creative process unfold, but they also get to interact with the artist. Last year, we had so many visitors who would just talk to the artist while they were chalking the drawings.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, it really is remarkable to watch it transform. And so the 3-day festival, it celebrates creativity, but it also really celebrates the ability that art has to bring people together. You'll see all walks of life and everyone enjoying this creative process and learning the power of color and creativity. And what we have found is that all ages, and it's almost like a childlike wonder that people come and they can't help it. They keep coming back. So we have people who will come in the mornings and they'll speak with the artist about how they got started in this process. And then they come throughout the day to see how this artist has progressed with their work. And it really is remarkable. And besides just the chalk, we do have artistic demonstrations. We have blacksmiths. We have a glass blower. We have all of these different artisans who engage with the public, showing their craft. And it's really a relationship that forms over 2 days with the artist and the visitors. It's truly remarkable.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is to kind of look and see the beginning to end process, from going to nothing and having an idea in your head. And then you see what their idea was at the end. It's truly remarkable how you can see the art it really is breathtaking.
It is. And you find yourself, I don't want to say, it's almost as if you're watching magic, because you watch this blank piece of pavement turn into this just remarkable, moving, living piece of art. And it really is phenomenal. We really do enjoy having that. We enjoy providing it for the town.
Yeah. And like you said, getting to know the artist is one of the main factors. So what kind of artist performances, experiences can the people expect this year?
Oh, of course. So we're going to have visual arts, obviously the public art and of the chalk artist, but we'll have visual arts. We will have storytelling. We have the forging, which is our blacksmith, which is something people really connected to last year.
Yeah.
And we'll also have like I said, the storytelling. We are very fortunate that we had the Gullah Geechee. It was the Gullah storytellers. I apologize. They came last year, and they are such an engaging group, and people really enjoyed that. And so there's going to be a lot, and we have a few surprises as well.
Oh, well, good. And that's the great part about the artists. It's so welcoming when you talk to someone. You normally go to a art show and they're like, oh, don't talk to the artist, or they're working on a piece and they don't want to be disturbed. Whereas here at our Chalk It Up or the talk to the glass blowers, or you talk to the blacksmiths, they're welcoming, they want to engage, they want to talk to everybody, so you feel welcome in and you're not shooed away.
Exactly. So unfortunately, I think that sometimes, not always, but sometimes the artistic experience for the visitors, for the people who are coming, you feel as if you're behind this glass wall. And the power that Chalk It Up and that the Freedman Arts Festival has is that it's a two-way street. This is something, like I said, it's a relationship. And it really is remarkable to see the way that small children all the way to their grandparents really interact, and the stories that come out of the 2 days. Like, we've had so many people over and over again mentioned, like exactly what you said. It was that welcoming atmosphere. It's very much an engaging event. It is not, it's not come watch them. It's you become part of the art, and it really is remarkable.
Yeah. And how does this festival reflect both Beaufort's history of present-day creative community in this past of the history?
So basically, I mean, where our art Chalk It Up Festival is happening, you can stand in the parking lot and look at the Harriet Tubman monument. And there's something really powerful about that. And so we're activating these streets, and we're activating conversations. And I think that that's something that's very important. And at the same time, we're able to celebrate the present day creativity by showcasing these contemporary artists. And I do think that that's an important part of it.
Yeah, and then how does the festival support local artists and surrounding communities?
Oh, no, that's something that we learned a lot from last year, the impact that Chalk It Up and the festival had on our entire community. If you talk to the downtown merchants and the restaurants and our local bed and breakfast and hotels, it was remarkable the amount of people who came into town. And so you have people from all over the country who are engaged with these artists, because many of these Chalk It Up artists do have their own following.
Mm-hmm.
And so their following comes with them. We had people from Utah, and we had someone from Colombia. We had someone from New Mexico, from actually Mexico. It's really remarkable because people travel to see their work.
Mm-hmm.
And we found that people really were seeing Beaufort for the first time, and that had a positive economic impact on downtown Beaufort, both on the restaurants and the shops and the hotels.
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea to kind of walk the streets, see the art, go out, grab a drink or grab food, and then come back and see how much progress has changed in the couple hours you were away, or even the next day you come back to see it and you come out to eat and you see, oh wow, they've made so much progress since the last day I saw. It definitely brings everybody together.
Oh yeah, I mean it's an all day experience, and it's one of those things where you can come the first day and the second day, and no 2 days are alike.
Yeah,
and I
agree.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. It really is.
Yeah. So, what do you hope visitors walk away with feeling after attending the festival?
I hope that they walk away feeling connected not only to Beaufort and to the artists, but also to their own creativity. I think that oftentimes we forget, somehow we lose that childlike wonder to want to create,
Mm-hmm.
to want to paint, to want to write, to want to dance. I think we lose that. And something as simple as watching someone else, someone who may look like you, someone who may sound like you, watching them engage in something that's so hands-on and so personal as art, I think that I think it activates something within us all, and you never know what effect it's going to have. You don't know that a child standing there for the first time isn't going to go home and pick up a piece of chalk or pick up a paintbrush or want to learn more about the forge. And we just really don't know the ripples that has. And I think that it really does help people leave reminding them that creativity is such an important part of the human experience.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I was just thinking last week how all the way through 5th grade, you're learning how to draw and you're going to art class. And then once you hit a certain point, then it's only for the people who are actually great at it to continue. But everybody should be creative. The world would be a more open place and
Wouldn't it?
more wondrous and creative place. It wouldn't be so business focused.
Right. And I think that that's something that as we move forward in such a digital age, I think people are looking for that uniqueness, that soulfulness, which can only be expressed in different creative and artistic ways. Yeah. And I do see the more and more that Freedman Arts grows, we do see that is filling such a gap right now where people are yearning for that creative expression.
I agree. I agree and think so as well. Well, Cherimie, thank you so much for joining us on the Intercoastal Podcast. If you could you let people know where they can find you on your website, and then also follow up with the festival?
Of course. I just appreciate you having us so much today. Anytime I get to talk about all the wonderful things we're doing, it's an honor. So they can always find us on freedmanartsdistrict.org. And you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram, and sign up for our newsletter. I always send out weekly updates, and we also want to make sure that people know that we have a lot of classes. We offer classes with the forge, blacksmith, and we also offer painting and mosaics, and there's just a lot of ways that people can involved. And if the artistic classes aren't something that they want to do, they can always volunteer. I can use all the help I can get. Yeah. So they can always reach out to us that way, and we would love to bring them into our community.
Yeah, and that'd be perfect for a visitor or a local who's visiting Beaufort or who stays here to get involved.
Of course.
But thank you so much for listening to the Intercoastal Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on social media at visit_BeaufortSC on Instagram or at BeaufortSC on Facebook. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review, and share this episode with anyone who loves the Low Country or the art. Until next time.
This has been another episode of the Intercoastal Podcast, hosted by Daquan Mickens and the team at Visit Beaufort, Port Royal, and the Sea Islands. Produced by Revolt.